There is a propensity in Christian circles to make everything about us, and I say us because I'm a Christian. But that gets on my last. Oh my God! If there's anything that ever pisses me the hell off, it's when Christians make every tragedy about them, or when particularly South Carolina, where the shooter, and I'm going to do my best not to call these guys names out. The shooter made it clear that he was killing these people in South Carolina, Mother Emanuel AME Church, because they were black. Christians on the right wing, conservative, Fox News, did everything they could to spin it to be about Christians being persecuted. And now they have an actual tragedy where several witnesses have corroborated the fact that the shooter asked the students at Umpqua Community College what their religion was before he killed them. And it looked as though he was targeting specifically Christians. So now you have an incident where Christians were legitimately the target, and they have, it's almost like they've been waiting on this. Like we finally got one. Here's one, since Columbine, we haven't had one like this. Christians are targeted in America. The secular humanists are targeting Christians, and it's the end. It's the persecution. It's the Christian Holocaust. All of these hyperbolic phrases that are used by Christians and religious people on Sunday mornings just to get people revved up. And here's a problem I have with that. No doubt, from all indications, this shooter targeted Christians last week. Does that make you care about this more than if it had just been, let's say, Muslims that were targeted last week? Because there have been mass shootings where people were targeted simply because they were Muslim. Chapel Hill, he didn't like his Muslim neighbors over a parking space, so he killed 3 of them. What if they had just been, let's say, children? Is it less tragic because there's no Christian persecution complex narrative attached with it? The shooter in Newtown did not ask them their faith, but he killed children. So my problem is this, is that if you're waiting for a narrative to be about your religion before you actually do something about it, then not only are you narcissistic, but you're kind of useless to the broader society. I had a friend, Jonathan, on Facebook, who, and we were debating this back and forth with a lot of people. A lot of people got mad at me about this, but whatever. The fact of the matter is, you are in America, where we just brushed off those 20 kids that got killed in Newtown. We just brushed it off like it was nothing. So don't be surprised if you are the next target. Don't be surprised if Christians are targeted when we live in a country where children are targeted, where Black people are targeted. I'm not talking about, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not talking about targeted by the police. I'm talking about targets for mass murder, where white people are targeted for mass murder, where moviegoers are targeted for mass murder, where just people walking down the street minding their business are targeted for mass murder. So there's no special place in Christian persecution martyrdom that Christians are more targeted in the United States than any other group. Christians are equally as targeted as every other group, because we live in a country that is so obsessed with the Second Amendment and this false dichotomy of either you leave us to be with every gun we possibly could want, or you're trying to create a dictatorial, tyrannical gun grab. Those are the two extremes that we live in. And because of that, it causes a level of paralysis where we don't do anything to prevent the next mass shooting. So it just gets on my nerves when all of a sudden now you're interested because he asked whether or not you're a Christian. Were you less interested when they killed those 20 kids? And forgive me if I'm being melodramatic here, But seriously, like, are you waiting for a Christian persecution narrative to move into action? Because there are plenty of other examples, plenty of reasons, plenty of things that we can do to stop this from happening. But if you're only interested when it involves your particular faith, then you will continue to ignore all of the other instances. And so when they have targeted children, they've targeted Muslims, they've targeted blacks, they've targeted moviegoers, they've targeted people in traffic, they've targeted just random. Everybody is fair game in the United States of America, because we will not do anything about gun control at all.